Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chanjal's World. Before I get into the detailings, if you find any audio disturbances in this video, I truly apologize because right now it's raining outside. It's cloudy, the whole nature is drenched, the color of the nature is so bright. Honestly speaking, it's truly romantic, perfect for the book review I'm going to do today. Well, yes, the book I'm going to review today is a romantic fictional novel by the international famous writer Paula Coelho. The name Paula Coelho reminds us of his best work, The Alchemist. This book is nothing like the book The Alchemist. Not only is the storyline different from the book, but also the style of writing introduced into this book is completely different from his traditional style of writing. This book was basically recommended to me by one of my friends, and I was surprised by the way the book was written. When you sum up the whole book, I would rather say it is like a beautiful concept like love, when implied to a prudent reality of today, have a very beautiful or a fantasy ending is how the book actually goes. The book I'm reviewing today is 11 Minutes by Paula Coelho. Unfortunately, I don't physically have the book as I have lent the book to one of my cousins. Well, as it is said, sharing is caring. So let's get into the review. This story is about Maria, a young girl from a small town of Brazil. She falls in love at a very young age and is left heartbroken. This shakes her trust in this concept of love. She then joins a draper company where she starts earning money, accumulating it for a well-deserved vacation to Paris. She makes it to Paris, and there she meets a rich businessman who promises to make Maria a famous actress. She took up the offer, not trusting the businessman, but in a curiosity to know what the world wanted from her. As her intuitions told her, she did not become a famous actress, but ended up being a prostitute. Instead of fighting prostitution and going back to poverty, she decided to take up prostitution so that she can later on promise a settling life for herself and her parents back in Brazil later on. Through her life, through prostitution, she realized she has to know more about the world, about new topics, new concepts, so that she can have a steady life. She starts going to a library and then starts reading books, about different concepts and topics. And it is during this time where she meets this man who will later on change her life. Well, I will not tell you the story from here on because then it ends up being a spoiler. So I want you to read it, but definitely the concept of true love, feelings, emotions, of unconditionality, a complete different route to intimacy, and all opens up from here on. So definitely this is my favorite book because of all the different reasons how it is different from a normal romantic book. This book is definitely an adults only book because of many reasons, of one being sexuality. That is, this book explains detailings about sexuality and intimacy throughout the book. That is, initially there is this teenage magical bliss sort of feeling being explained, and then while she works in the draper company, how she uses her sexuality to earn extra money is basically explained, and through prostitution the dull life of sexuality and intimacy is explained. And in the spoiler side of the book, again, there's a different concept of sexuality and intimacy being explained. So definitely not a recommendation for kids. And another reason I wouldn't again recommend is that this book is quite misleading. Like, let me tell you this example where Maria takes up the offer made by the businessman. Well, she says that she wants to take up the offer even though she knows there's a risk involved, that she wanted to know what the world expects of her. This can be misleading to young hearts because this is my personal opinion. If you know that chances of a mistake being made is more, then definitely you should weigh your choices and then take your decisions accordingly than just plunging into it. And then her decision to go through prostitution, I personally wouldn't agree as a woman. But then again, Paula Coelho presented it so beautifully, and so while you read the story, you wouldn't feel any of her decision was wrong. So that definitely can be misleading to young hearts. So I wouldn't definitely recommend this book to someone who would change their decision after reading this book. So definitely not that way. Well, the global rating for this book is quite high, but definitely there are other romantic books that are rated much higher than this. But if you ask me, I would rate this book a 5 on 5 because, according to me, the concept of intimacy and sexuality in this book has been explored into different shades, and towards the ending, that is a spoiler part, I think Paula Coelho was very much successful in presenting intimacy in its purest form. And so definitely I truly loved this book, and I would say this is the most romantic book I've ever read, because love being the most purest and a concept that can even reach the heights of fantasies, blended into reality, because of course we all know that reality is rude in nature. So when these two concept mixes, the way each flavors blend into each other, and then how a beautiful ending can happen, that is how the whole story is molded, and there is a flow to it. Let me tell you this one thing. I read this book in one sitting. Like, I was traveling somewhere, I guess it was around 4 to 5 hours journey, and then I read the book throughout the journey, and I finished it in one go. It was truly addictive, and I really liked the way each emotions were, blending in, and it's a beautiful book according to me. So definitely, if you are someone who have all these butterflies and all these typical romantic sort of concepts, then I don't think you would like this book. This is for people who would definitely like a little reality into fantasies. Then this is definitely a book. This is a complete different romantic book, I would say. So if you're into all this, definitely go read this book. This book is available in all famous stores or any bookstores you can go into: Sapna, Crosswords, Amazon, Flipkart, anywhere it is there. I think the book is somewhere around 250 something pages. And definitely, if you love reading, make sure you have time, because this book can literally keep you curious. And because I basically read it in one go, so you can be into the same situation. So make sure you have time before you read, because you will be going on and on and on, and then you will find it difficult to stop reading. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and see you back with another video.